Hey animal rescuers, welcome back to Sunset Wildlife Connections YouTube vlog channel. My name is Margaret. This is Titan. He just came up and wanted cuddles, didn't you? We are going to talk a little bit about how I manage my animal rescue in the hot Florida heat. So I did some video on a hotter day, so we're gonna go back and look at all that video and then we'll come back to today. Starting out with the diets, I sometimes will add in different kinds of fruits and vegetables. So for example, you can see I have watermelon in here, and then I will also add in other things like cucumber. Watermelon has a lot of water, obviously, and electrolytes, and cucumber also has a lot of water. So I will be selective about certain items that I actually feed the animals when it comes to diet preparation. Davy, why are you tossing things? You're so bad, Davy Joan. Silly bird. Okay, so tortoises, like days like today where it's gonna be literally like 99, I am giving them some, the sulcatas are so ridiculous compared to the leopard. Let me move her over. Come here, girlie. There you go. So I obviously have hay for them at all times. We clean that out twice a week, and then we deep clean this exhibit. What I do is I come in and I water, and then this is where the hibiscus was. If you guys saw the one where Pancake is this one. She was like destroying it. So now it's just like, because it's a little bit empty, so we made it kind of a wallow, so you can see how it's still like wet in here, and we're trying to get it a little bit more like muddy and stuff every single day. So I am watering that frequently, but I do not give them fruit very often. But on days like today, like I was saying, where it's literally going to be 99 degrees, I did give them some watermelon because that does have high electrolytes, like I told you guys when I was making diets. So that is one of the few exceptions and one of the few times that I will give them water. So that is one thing that I do for the tortoises. Otherwise, they are pretty heat tolerant. They eat a lot of food. I'm like having to up their food constantly because they are mowing through it. They do have the grazing area that they get 6 times a week. Do like a full taking care of the tortoises breakdown if people are interested in how I take care of my tortoises. You see her trying to get that piece? You're so silly. So yeah, that's what I do with the tortoises. What are you doing? Knocking the water. So we do deep clean the goat yard twice a week. That'll be happening tomorrow, and then we will scrub and refill waters. But otherwise, I really don't do much with goats. I do have, if there's like bad flies, I do have fly spray. You can see like we'll scoop up all that extra hay that's down there, and then I'm gonna treat for ants tomorrow with the first Saturday lime. That is what I end up doing there. Look how big the babies are. You guys are so big, big babies. We're cutting back on Bo-Katan's milking as well, so that she and Lucy can get prepped for going back for breeding again this year, and then Bo-Katan will get a year off. So she's been such a good mom. Anyway, I don't really do much with them. They're pretty heat tolerant animals. She's a full Nigerian dwarf. Bo-Katan's Nigerian and a Saiyan mix, and then they are 75 Nigerian and 25 Saiyan. So that is why I think that they are so hardy. It's so hot in Africa that's why these guys are really hardy animals. So I really don't worry about them too much in the winter, and in the summer just do kind of like a couple adjustments for weather and wind in the winter, and that's literally it. Just making sure we're keeping the ants out of here, keeping everybody healthy, fresh water, and that's about it. Next up, pigeons. They're also very hardy. I just did that video where you guys saw them flying. So I usually will not fly them like during the day, like the heat of the day, like it is right now. Right now it's probably about 2:30. So I'll either fly them in the morning or I will fly them towards the evening time. They don't really exercise like hard enough to where they're really going to need it to be kind of crazy heat wise. I just check their water, obviously, make sure that they have fresh water, and I will give them like iced down water or cooled down water so that when they drink it, that'll cool their bodies as well. But another pretty heat resistant animal here. Okay, next we're going to talk about the monkeys, the lemurs that we just got recently, as well as the foxes. There's a couple things I do for them. I have a bunch of frozen stuff with me right now, and I do give this to them daily usually. If it's like, it always says it's like 90 something, but it always feels into the hundreds. So if it feels into the hundreds, I always come back out here and give out these. If you guys are new to the channel, we have 2 rescued foxes. This here, who you're seeing on the film right now, is Megan. She is our Save a Fox Fur Farm Fox Rescue. So she is one of the 500 foxes who was rescued off of a fur farm. And then in a second here, you're gonna see our other fox. His name is Michael J. And he was an ex-pet and an extreme neglect case. So he was not fed, more than 1 time a week. He was locked into a room. He had a really bad situation. But if you guys, again, are new, that is our 2 foxes. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so that you guys can be notified when we post new videos. Okay, well, they're all sitting at the door. Can I slide this in here? Like a credit card? Look at Zinni, he's so cute. Credit card. There. Yeah, what is that, Siri? Oops, sorry. I'm sorry. You guys wouldn't let me do anything else with it. Silly things. Cold pack. These guys have been pretty heat resistant. If you look really closely, see how you can see that she is licking her arms. That is a way that lemurs keep cool. So that is something that is just a natural part of what they do to keep cool. Oh, look at how cute he is back there. He's so cute. He's gotten so much better. I'm gonna try and do an update video on him specifically, on all the different things that I am doing, making his diet, things like that. So Zinni is doing very, very well, as you can see. So I'm gonna try and get some more footage. That'll probably try to be one of my next videos. Oh, what is he doing? Why is he sitting like that? Are you pottying? I think he's peeing. You're so weird. But yeah, so come out here and we're gonna try to do this too. Put some more rope in here. What are you doing, silly girl? Suri. Hi, Suri. So silly. And then Miss Cleo. You guys ate. You're so full. You're so full. Yes, you are. You're so precious. Okay, let's talk about a couple other things that we're doing. So, I do have a fan for the foxes. This one goes out. I feel like it's kind of dying a little bit, but I probably have to get a new one. But these are cool. These are solar fans. So, there is one here for the foxes for this platform, and then we do have one over here for the lemurs for this platform. I'm actually gonna get another one, and I'm gonna hang it like right up here, and then it's gonna hit that platform. Tommy and I just haven't gotten to doing that yet, but that is something that we are planning on doing, is getting them another fan, and it is solar powered, so it does like come out here, and then I'll try to see if I can show you guys. She's so cute following me. So then it's like set way up there. Obviously I can't like get up there, but like you can see that it runs up there. So anytime the sun is out, these will turn on. So then once the, sun goes away, or if it rains, what are you doing, you silly girl? You're so precious. She's so cute. But yeah, so I'm gonna get the lemurs a second fan. The foxes have 2 fans, and then the cool packs. Look, there's Megan laying with hers. Oh, she loves the cool packs so much. You're so precious. You love your cool Oh, you're such a good girl. Oh, she's licking it. You're so precious. My goodness, you're precious. So, I always try to come out by the hottest part of the day. I also did get more of that Saturday lime donated by somebody from our Amazon wish list. So thank you so much to Christy for the Amazon wish list stuff. But I am going to be sprinkling more Saturday lime here. Obviously, we have this for mosquitoes. The mosquitoes have gotten better over the summer. They were really bad there for a minute, but they have gotten better. I feel like you guys watched me do the lime maybe like a couple episodes ago, so I'm not going to show you guys that part again. But that is something that I'm also doing, is putting the lime everywhere, just so that we can try to get rid of the ants and the mosquitoes, ticks, mites. Obviously, that's not great either, so we do all of that. Let's go over to parrots, I think. Well, let's go say hi to Spike first really quick, and then chickens, and I'll show you what I'm doing with them. Spike! Spoo! Oh my gosh. Why have you dug up so much? Oh, you moved that. That's how you did that? That's very obnoxious of you to do. Uh-huh. That's very, very obnoxious of you. So he is very heat resistant animal. You guys have seen me do videos. No, sir. Okay. I had to rebury it all. Okay. So I will put ice in his water. We have not cleaned him yet today, so that's why he does go in his water a ton in the summertime. So literally as soon as we clean it, it's gonna look like that again because he obviously lives on dirt, so he's gonna run through the dirt. But yeah, so he is pretty heat resistant. I will give him some frozen fruit items and frozen popsicle, like not actual popsicles, but like ones that I made with fruit and fruit juices. So I will give him stuff like that. And again, like the big chunks of ice that we've done a couple times before. So he will get, ice enrichments and things like that. But he's a very heat resistant animal. This is an African animal. So very hot again in Africa. So he is very, very, very heat resistant. Aren't you? He's literally wet down here. See how wet? So like he's literally in the water a ton. Like he almost like it swims in a pool. So he's always in the water. So cute. Chickens, pretty heat resistant animals, although obviously they can go through spurts where they don't do as well in the heat. If I see any signs, I do have electrolytes that I will feed them. I have a secondary water. This metal water also does help them with, it stays a little bit cooler than like a plastic one. So that is why I also use the metal for them. If I really felt like they were like literally dying out here, I would get them a tub with ice and water in it for them to put their feet in. But I will sprinkle ice on the ground too. It obviously would cool the ground and then they can step on it there. So their feet is actually really important on how to keep them cool. You can tell, that they're panting. That's normal, part of everything. These guys are actually going to come out in a little bit. We'll clean Spike, put him up, and then these guys get to free range for a couple hours. So they'll usually go over, we have an artesian well, like way over there. So sometimes they'll go over to the well and get cool water from that. But yeah, I definitely come out here, make sure, of course, that they have fresh, clean water. And then I will add in a second water with electrolytes if I felt like they needed it. Today I'll have given, you guys saw me make all of the extra fruit. So they will also get that extra fruit and those extra electrolytes at the end of the day as well. Same thing with Spike's gonna also, whenever he gets cleaned and put away, he will also get that watermelon as well to help him with his electrolytes. Electrolytes. You silly little sugar plum. Oh my goodness. No, you don't need a dick. No, you spiky creature. Silly thing, you. Okay, parrots. I have frozen water bottles again. Deuce hangs out on the ground sometimes. So I put his on the ground and he can walk up to it, lick it, do whatever he wants to do with it. So that is Deuce. The other parrots, you can see I put ices all the way over there as well. I'll try and show you guys what it looks like when they are hot. And so I will come out here when I see the parrots panting, kind of similar to when you saw the chickens panting. They do it very similar, but if I'm out there, they don't do it. If I'm out here, they don't do it. See, like now none of them are doing it. So let's see if I can go hide inside and see if they can do it. I do have fans too. So I have a box fan on the cockatiel and the Amazon. And then I do have a fan over here as well that does oscillate to the other 4 birds. And then obviously they're underneath here. So what me and my husband will also do sometimes when we're watering the plants, you can see the gardens kind of right here, and then obviously we have plants all over, all on the encounter center. So when we come to water, we'll also, if it's a really hot day, we'll hit the roof with water because that will take the heat off of that and then it will come down and then, like, you can literally, like, you'll feel as it's like dripping down. If you go like this and you feel it, it's like a hot water coming down, and that's because it's coming off of the roof. So it's displacing the roof. Now I also, when I change their waters in the morning, I will ice all of the waters so they start cold. If it's really hot, it's hot right now, but it's not like ridiculous. I will come and I will ice all the waters down again, and then I will do it one more time in the evening. So I'm constantly out here with ice. My poor ice maker works really hard in the summer, or if I know it's gonna be a really hot day, I actually plan on I go buy ice from the local gas station. I just get a bag of ice because I know that I'm going to be having to distribute it and throw it into waters, and I'll actually throw it into all the waters. So like I'll do the same thing with like the lemurs and the foxes. I will throw ice in the waters for Spike, the chickens, all of those animals, so that then they can either go stand by their water and it's still like making it cold in the area in the vicinity around them, or obviously if they want to drink it, that's going to cool down their bodies just like we would drink, you know, ice cold water or a popsicle or something like that as well. So kind of the same thing. Let's see if I can get a bird panting. Hang on. You can kind of see Davy Jones doing it. He just stopped doing it now. He had his mouth open a second ago, but you can kind of see, like, here's Raz. She's got her mouth open. She's not necessarily like panting, but Margarita's down here hitting the fan. Every time the fan goes by her, she knows that's right where it is. You rubbing on your enrichment? You're so silly. Oh my goodness, you're so silly. So yeah, parrots will pant too, and I will come and ice everything down. You can kind of see Raz is doing it a tiny bit over here. So that's what they do for heat stress for these guys. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of go into our other two rooms that are inside. I already did all the outside animals that I showed you guys, and just show you what I do in the inside with the mammal room and the reptile room. And yeah, we're gonna go check those rooms out real quick. What do we do for you in the summer, huh? So I just eat. I'll eat and I'll sleep in the summer.
Fatty.
He's a little bit more active in the evening or like at nighttime than he is during the day in the summer. Chicken just popped up. Look at him. What are you guys doing under the porch? So this is our mammal room. We have, what, 6 different species in here? No, 5. So we have the guinea pigs, we have 2 rabbits, this is the sugar glider, and we have 2 prairie dogs and a chinchilla. This is normally where the sugar glider was. I don't know, yeah, Tommy can pan over. Thanks for filming, Tommy, by the way. So this room I don't really do a lot with. Sorry, what's that? I don't do a ton with. These are very hardy weather animals as far as guinea pigs, rabbits, the sugar glider actually, and the prairie dogs. The chinchilla, let's see if I can find him and take him out for a second. Hi. Sorry, this is Raichu, and he is our only chinchilla that we have here at SWC. So he is, these animals come from the Andes Mountains in South America, and they live in the cold. So the only thing that I'll do for him on like really hot days, if our AC can't keep up, then I will give him a frozen rock, and I'll actually put it on the top because it will get condensated on the outside of it, but it won't drip necessarily. So it's not going to drip into the enclosure, but I don't want to put it in there because I don't want him to touch any of the condensation. And that is because chinchillas, because they live in the mountains, they live in the snow, they never get wet. And again, they can't be in high temperatures. So for him, I actually can't use him throughout most of the summer unless it's either like this, where we're still inside, or our zookeeper for the day program comes into this room to help clean the animals. So that is another way that they're able to see him. But otherwise, I cannot use him for any tours or traveling or anything. If it is above 80 degrees, I cannot use him. So chinchillas might not be an animal that I rescue in the future because I can't do a lot with them. If we did like rescue and rehome, that might be different, but we don't rehome a lot of our animals. He's the only one that I really worry about in this room. He does have a thermostat up here for the reason, because if this does get over 80, then I will bring in the rocks. But otherwise, he's the only one that we really worry about. We have the fan, obviously. In the winter, we'll flip the fan so that it does the rotation instead of like the pulling the air down. But that's pretty much it. This room, you know, we're obviously indoors, so it stays at a pretty good temperature. So that is really the only thing that we do in this room. This room is super easy.
Look at them, like they're like nose to nose right now. Oh, friends.
Silly bun bun. So this is our reptile room. This room I don't do a ton in either because, again, we are indoors and we have AC, right? But there's obviously a lot of lights and heaters in here. So we do have a couple different things that we will do. We obviously have the fan, same thing like we had in the other room. We'll just switch it so that it will push the air down. And then the other thing that we do is we do have an AC unit here. So the AC will turn on over the summer and then it will switch. We'll put the heater on. Usually like obviously like spring and fall, we don't really need either of them on. So it does get a break from that for a little bit. But for now, we do have the AC unit. This just helps to keep, again, fighting that heat from all the heating pads, heating lamps, all the stuff like that. But otherwise, this room stays pretty regular. It goes to about 70 at the lowest and then goes up to about 80 at the highest, and so it will stay in that 70 to 80 at all times. So that's usually what our reptile room will be at, but we really don't do much in here either. As far as when I travel with animals, I do have things like frozen water bottles and like ice packs that you would put in your lunchbox, and I will put that into the animals' travel enclosures sometimes. It depends on if I know, are we going to be inside, we're going to be outside. Usually if we're in an outside environment, I'll try to use outside animals because they're already used to the heat versus inside animals. So I can be more selective. Obviously, like you can't choose the chinchilla in the summertime for an encounter if you wanted them. So it does change up a little bit with that, but not much with the encounters either. I just will try to add in some extra stuff, maybe do towels instead of fleeces, things like that. But that's about all we do. If you have any other questions for me on how I manage and maintain my exotic animal rescue here in the Florida heat, you can put those down below in the comments. If you guys would like to support our nonprofit Exotic Animal Rescue, there is links below in the description for either cash donations. You can purchase something from our Bonfire merch store. That's where this one is from. Make sure you guys follow along, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.